Okay, now in our last lecture, I have showed you how we can add components to our web pages and how we can create them. Now in this lecture, I'm going to show you how we can add CSS to our web pages. So now I would want to add a CSS, a global CSS to all of our pages. So let's go ahead and create a folder under our src folder. And let's name it styles. Inside of our styles folder, we're going to create our global CSS. Now inside our global CSS, let's type the following: HTML and brackets, and inside the brackets, let's type background dash color. And here you can press Ctrl and space and choose the color you like. Let's say I would want to choose coral, for example, and press a semicolon. Now, in order to import our global CSS, we would need to create a new file in our home directory. Basically, where you can find the Gatsby-config, there you would need to create a new file, which is going to be Gatsby-browser. So create that. And remember, you need to type the name of this file correctly. This is very important here because this is like the Gatsby-config file, which stores the configurations of the plugins for your Gatsby.js project that we're going to talk later in the videos. And in the Gatsby-browser.js, just for now, know that we can import our CSS there. Later in the videos, we're going to discuss what we can do in this JS file. So what you want to do is to import, and there you would want to find your global CSS file and go to styles and get the global CSS. Now you have imported your global CSS. However, you would need to recompile the Gatsby.js project. So now press Ctrl and C, that will stop your current server, and type Gatsby develop again. This will recompile the project and it will add our global CSS there. So as you can see, we have refreshed the page and we have our background color changed. Now that we have our global CSS imported, whenever we change something in our CSS, it's going to be hot reloaded. So now let's go ahead and change our background color to something else, as I do not like the color here. So let's go ahead and press Ctrl space again. Colors corn silk, let's see that. Let's see wheat. Okay, that's enough. So now you know how to add CSS to your Gatsby.js project. Now I want to show you how you can add modules, CSS modules to your components. What those mean are they are going to be applied only to those components, and you would not have to worry about CSS name collisions. So basically, if you have the name of a header in one CSS file and in another CSS module you use the same name, you're not going to get collisions because whenever it compiles, it adds a specific name there. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So what you would want to do here is to create inside your component. Let's say that we want to create a CSS file for our header. We would want to type the following: header .module.css and press enter. Okay, now that we have our module CSS, let's put something in there. Let's create a class example in our CSS module, and there let's create a color to be red, so we would want to change our header color. Okay, let's not choose red, let's choose something else. For example, we would want slate gray, that's it. So now what you want to do is to go to your header component, and here you would want to import your module. Remember, here you can give whatever you name you would like to your CSS styles. So I'm going to import, let's call it header styles from, and let's provide the path to our module CSS. And there we have it. Now the last thing that we would need to do is to apply this CSS to our h1 here. Now in JSX the class is not written as class. If you haven't used React, we use class name. This is one of the main differences between React JSX and HTML. So here in class name you would want to provide header styles and dot example. And as you can see, our header has changed. Now when we navigate to our test, our header has the same exact color as we have provided in our module CSS. So this is it for our lecture. See you in the next one.